Good afternoon. I greet you with the universal greeting of respect and welcome you to this day of opportunities, possibilities, and miracles. My intention is to share with you and for you to be able to receive based on where you are at the time that you hear or experience this. Relaxing and breathing during this mindful moment. Since breathing is first, I want to share with you a strategy for relaxing and being able to breathe. You may have techniques that work for you, and I encourage you, please continue to use whatever's working. This is just something to add to that toolbox. It's called box breathing. It's not my own. It was made popular by a Navy SEAL, and he has a lot of videos and things out there, and there's other professional who have used this in mindful strategies for breathing. So it's about inhaling, holding, exhaling, and holding. We're going to do it for just 4 seconds each. So maybe we can do this together. Inhale for 4 seconds. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Just that process alone, if you do that a couple of times within a minute, that's less than 60 seconds. That might be the 60 seconds that'll help you manage through a difficult moment. That might be the 60 seconds that can help you let your next decision be your best decision. Sometimes it just takes a moment to keep us from going too far or from acting too soon. So that's the breathing part. But this message today, this mindful moment today has been inspired by Aura J. Wilson, my 8th grade English teacher, Norris School in Thompson, Georgia. She inspired me in the 8th grade by introducing me to the writings of a man by the name of Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard wrote a poem, many pieces, but this one in particular has inspired me throughout my life at different points. Depending on where I was, it inspired me a little differently, whichever part I held on to. It only had 2 letters in the one word of the title, and it was called If. So I'm not going to pretend to have memorized this whole thing. Even though I memorized parts of it, I want to read it to you verbatim the same way that I got it. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated. Don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master. If you can think and not make thoughts your aim. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those 2 impostors just the same. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch. If neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill one the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run. Yours is the earth and everything that is in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Rudyard Kipling wrote that for his son, John. But it applies not just to boys or males, it applies to anyone. Because he was talking about success, but did you notice in there was nothing about fame, about fortune, about wealth, about possessions? It was about depth of character. And that's something that you really don't find being taught too much anymore in the brick and mortar schools or even in corporations or businesses. You just don't find things that build and teach depth of character, but that's what this is about. So when you identify yourself, do you identify yourself with what you have, with what you do, or with who you are? In fact, when other people think of you and describe you, do they describe you based on your possessions, based on your job, where you live, based on your claim to fame, or do they identify you based on your depth of character? So here's what I'd like to do. I don't want to challenge you because to me, sometimes challenge suggests competition. So it's not a competition. I don't want to challenge you. I want to encourage you to think about opportunities. Opportunities that you could possibly pass on something that you heard or felt during this moment that we've shared together. I want to encourage you to look for possibilities that you could personalize some aspect of what you've heard, some aspect of what you may have felt. Personalize it and then pass it on. Consider the possibility of what would happen in your life if you was to take just a segment of one of the pieces that you heard and expand it today, or maybe this week, just one of them. Consider the possibility. And I like to remind you, while encouraging you to expect and experience the miracles that's going to happen in your mindful moments as they expand, the more mindful you become in appreciating the moments that we have. Until the next time we meet, I encourage you to travel well. And as always, I conclude with the universal symbol of respect. Until next time.